Okay, so at the National History Museum in Central Park in New York, people are decided to remove the statues from Theodore Roosevelt. Now, if you guys don't know, Theodore Roosevelt was president of the United States from 1901 to 1909. I mean, he did various things, and he was really in particular of the square deal. Now, if you guys know, this is one of his three major goals, okay? This is one of his primary things that he wanted the U.S. to really focus on. It was mainly for the conservation of natural resources, control of compensations, or I'm sorry, it was mainly for corporations so they wouldn't be very victimized of organized labor, and consumer protection. And when those three main goals was there, in that particular time in the early 1900s, he was really focusing on building up the infrastructure, the railroads, little things like that, and building up the middle class. But at the same time, though, that bailing out the corporations in a way. So they could still kind of juvenize, and we gotta understand this was the industrialized, can't speak today, age, and it was very pivotal to our communities. But I want to say this: in the Meat Inspection Act, he was really informed about this. The Food and Drug Administration, the Meat Inspection Act was actually, I want to say in 1906, in that particular time, man, and early 1900s. I mean, it was just like that particular time, our food supply was very poisoned. It was actually a number of factories. It was like a lot of germs and going on, and people were consuming it. And this was actually kind of really inspired to him to go into the Biologics Control Act. This was before in 1902 to ensure pretty much, purity and safety of like vaccines and similar products they used to treat diseases in humans. Okay, have mainly a really thorough, in detail research of these laboratories. He was into the chemical labs a lot. Even in 1902, he was really into the Oleo Margarine Act, and that's the purpose of collecting taxes on importing goods. And the Federal Employees Liability Act, it allows, pretty much just federal employees to be compensated. And, I can't really say, well, then he actually signed up to the Housing Commission. So he did a lot. Theodore Roosevelt did quite a bit, man. So, of course, I didn't live during that time. I don't know if it's tracks of him being racist or whatever. But according to the statute, which is like him, he was a horseback rider. He was part of the Rough Riders. You guys know about that. You research that in history. And, in the statute, it was on one side of the horse was a Native American, the other side was African American, and they was on the side of them. And I guess this whole tension with George Floyd in this particular situation, and people believe that these statues, they started researching the national origin of it. These statues are like a symbol of hate, and so they just felt like, hey man, at Capitol Hill or whatever, or the mayors, they need to be held responsible of destroying these type of statues here. So, and I'm just looking like, damn, hey, it is what it is, man. I don't think really statues is really going to help anything out. I actually talked to an individual about this. He was just saying, he brought up an example, you live in Egypt, whatever, about the Sphinx or the pyramids, there was the behalf of your people and slaves, would you go on there and destroy it? I'm like, no, what for? Why would I utilize all them resources and personally put myself in prison and get myself, jeopardized? It's not going to really help and move the economy. What I can do is I can educate my people about the history of what's going on, what can we do, and use that as motivation to ensure policies and go through these different phases that I talked about in my videos that African Americans need to go through. So it's many things that we have to do, but I wouldn't be surprised there's actually be many more statues that's going to be shut down, man. That's going to be destroyed. So NFL stuff, you got racist owners in the NFL. Are they going to start destroying statues, people? Are they going to try to get rid of the Heisman? Doing histories of that, man? Are they going to try to get rid of, just try to ban, sports in general? It's all many kinds of things, man. But, to each his own. It's a freedom of speech, bro. But, hey, during the statute, what's that going to do us any justice, though? I know it's kind of sad you living in a country like, okay, well, this is made off of racist type stuff. There's a racist statue here. Why would I freaking, live here? It's just, I'm sick of waking up in the morning looking at that type of stuff. So, it's like really you got to kind of drive to that place, but who knows, man. But I don't even know if the people who are actually advocating for this, man, are actually living in the major cities. You got people in the local area probably don't even really care, trying to really just focus on surviving. But, that's all I really had to say about this whole Theodore Roosevelt statue. I'm not against it, and I'm not, and also too, I'm not for it like that. So I'm just in between, but I'm just really more about solutions at the end of the day. So you guys tell me what you guys think about this, man. But yeah, that's one of the histories of Theodore Roosevelt, man. Yep, served. He was 26 U.S. president in 1901, 1909. If you think about it, got a square deal was really pretty much he was really working on, and that's pretty much the budget in that particular time, man. He did a Bureau of Census. Pretty much want to know like the whole. He helped out with the hospital industry and see if there's any diseases, how many people have in this particular population. I mean, this is all just basic stuff that a president should do, man. Try to kind of monitor the country in a way, man, the best way as possible. But that's all I really have to say. Do you guys agree with this whole tear down of Theodore Roosevelt statue? Just let me know in the comments. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Please subscribe to this video. I love you guys. I'm out. Deuces.